Dearly beloved, we are gathered here in the sight of God and in the face of this congregation to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony, which is an honorable estate instituted of God himself, signifying unto us the mystical union that is betwixt Christ and his church, which holy estate Christ adorned and beautified with his presence, and first miracle that he wrought in Cana of Galilee, and is commended in Holy Writ to be honorable among all men, and therefore is not by any to be enterprised nor taken in hand, unadvisedly, lightly, or wantonly, but reverently, discreetly, soberly, and in the fear of God, duly considering the causes for which matrimony was ordained. First, it was ordained for the increase of mankind, according to the will of God, and that children might be brought up in the fear and nurture of the Lord, and to the praise of his holy name. Secondly, it was ordained in order that the natural instincts and affections implanted by God should be hallowed and directed aright, that those who are called of God to this holy estate should continue therein in pureness of living. Thirdly, it was ordained for the mutual society, help and comfort that the one ought to have of the other, both in prosperity and adversity, into which holy estate these two persons present come now to be joined. Therefore, if any man can show any just cause why they may not lawfully be joined together, let him now speak, or else hereafter forever hold his peace.
And now the Archbishop of Canterbury will come forward and solemnize the marriage. But of course the ministers here are Prince William and Catherine themselves. At the end of their vows, they're man and wife.
I require and charge you both, as ye will answer at the dreadful day of judgment, when the secrets of all hearts shall be disclosed, that if either of you know any impediment why ye may not be lawfully joined together in matrimony, ye do now confess it. For be ye well assured that so many as are coupled together otherwise than God's word doth allow, are not joined together by God, neither is their matrimony lawful. William Arthur Philip Louis, wilt thou have this woman to thy wedded wife, to live together according to God's law in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou love her, comfort her, honor and keep her, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all other keep thee only unto her, so long as ye both shall live?
I will.
Catherine Elizabeth, wilt thou have this man to thy wedded husband, to live together according to God's law in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou love him, comfort him, honor and keep him, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all other keep thee only unto him, so long as ye both shall live?
I will.
Who giveth this woman to be married to this man? I, William Arthur Philip Louis,
I, William Arthur Philip Louis,
take thee, Catherine Elizabeth,
take thee, Catherine Elizabeth,
to my wedded wife,
to my wedded wife,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death us do part,
till death us do part,
according to God's holy law,
according to God's holy law.
And thereto I give thee my troth.
And thereto I give thee my troth.
I, Catherine Elizabeth,
I, Catherine Elizabeth,
take thee, William Arthur Philip Louis,
take thee, William Arthur Philip Louis,
to my wedded husband,
to my wedded husband,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death us do part,
till death us do part,
according to God's holy law,
according to God's holy law,
and thereto I give thee my troth.
and thereto I give thee my troth.
Bless, O Lord, this ring, and grant that he who gives
Well, it all came together for them. Even the sun came out. The pomp, the people, the bands, the cheering, the bells pealing, the grandeur of the abbey, the hymns, the spectacle, the solemnity. It was all there. A girl from a middle-class family marrying a prince who one day will be king. A real-life fairy tale played out for you live here on Sky HD. Today, pronounced husband and wife, one day crowned king and queen. We're witnessing the beginning, I suppose, of a new chapter in Britain's 1,000-year-old monarchy. The world watching what's going on, we as a nation watching as well. Though, who could be prouder? You've got to spare a thought for Kate's parents today, who have watched their daughter not only elevated to being a prominent national figure in line to be queen, but also, as we can see from those shots of her in the carriage, overwhelmingly happy on her wedding day. And it has to be said, Sarah Hughes, our royal correspondent, it all went swimmingly well.
Didn't it just? And what an incredible day it has been for both Prince William, Catherine, now the Duchess of Cambridge, their families, the royal family, and all of the crowds who are gathered here outside Buckingham Palace. A huge cheer went up as that carriage procession made its way through the gates of Buckingham Palace. And now Kate just emerging from the 1902 State Landau. Her husband there assisting her, holding her flowers, and they'll make their way into the palace, and this is where they'll spend their first night as man and wife.
Okay, what's going to happen next?
Well, they'll walk into Buckingham Palace, and the first thing is the official photographs taken by the selected photographer Hugo Burnand, who has taken pictures of Prince William on a number of occasions. He also was the official photographer for the marriage of the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall back in 2005. They'll probably want to have a drink. They may be a little thirsty and a little tired after that procession, waving to those crowds, and they'll want to toast their marriage. And then at 1:25 p.m, we'll see them emerge onto the balcony behind us, Eamon, to wave to the crowds, to thank the crowds for coming, and a kiss.
We will have an hour to wait for that. I just see Pippa Middleton going in. That's obviously not Pippa Middleton, that's the Queen. But a special mention, I suppose, of the bridesmaid looking, we all
back from their successes against the Russian Imperial Army. So it's been going here since the 1850s. That's quite a long time.
Yeah.
And on VE Day, the royal family came out onto the balcony, didn't they? And actually, the Queen, then Princess Elizabeth, and her sister managed to escape from the palace and try and join the throng of crowds on the streets below. But I think the first balcony kiss was Charles and Diana.
That's
wasn't it,
right,
Alistair?
yes.
They were responding to shouts from the crowd below, kiss, kiss. And they did have a quick peck, and it has been tradition ever since.
Now, people are standing there with their cameras. They're ready to go. Inside the state apartments, the official photographs are now being taken. When are we likely to see those, Sarah?
Those first official photographs, well, we're hoping they'll come out very soon. They're being taken by Hugo Burnand, who is the official photographer. He'll be taking them right now. The couple now will be gathering in the centre room, which is that room just behind the balcony on Buckingham Palace. And then when the moment is right, the signal will be given, and here they come.
waiting for the Royal Air Force flypast, which will start with 3 aeroplanes from the historic Battle of Britain flight, of which Prince William is the patron. Now, the event at the balcony is always organised by one ringmaster, and that's the Queen. She decides who goes out on the balcony and when. And today it's the entire Middleton family and the Prince of Wales's family and those who took part in the service. And there they are, the bride and groom. Here we come. From the Lancaster, a view down. It's being flown today by Flight Lieutenant Ernie Taylor. On either side, he's got a Hurricane and a Spitfire, flown by Squadron Leader Dunk Mason and Flight Lieutenant Anthony Parkinson. Let's see them pass. Of the generation that served during the Second World War or lived through the terrible time of the Blitz, the reassurance of seeing those aircraft so important. And now following in a Windsor formation, we have 2 Tornado GR4s and 2 Typhoons. Fabulous afterburn, turning right out of the flight path into Heathrow in order that normal aircraft can start landing again, which will have been delayed temporarily. I expect the Queen will lead the royal family in from this particular appearance, and round again come the aircraft, heading back to home. We can hear them on their turn. I don't think, as we see the aircraft going away, we've seen the end of balcony appearances for today.
Do you not? I just want to know why the kiss was so timid. Charlotte, how would you judge that kiss?
It was a very brief kiss, wasn't it? And do you remember we were talking to Arthur Edwards, the royal photographer, earlier this week, and he says that's the one moment they want to capture, and he didn't have long to get his finger on the
more
trigger.
than 3 seconds, and I'm not sure it was. Sarah, how would you rate it?
Well, it was brief but dignified, I think, and that's what this couple are all about. What was really interesting for me, looking at that balcony scene, I mean, just what must that couple be feeling as they're going on the balcony? Yeah. But looking at that balcony scene, that was very nice.
It was at Westminster Abbey where 2 billion viewers around the world digested their first iconic images of the day.
I, William Arthur Philip Louis,
Take thee, Catherine Elizabeth,
take thee, Catherine Elizabeth,
to my wedded wife,
to my wedded wife,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
richer for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death us do part,
till death us do part,
according to God's holy law,
according to God's holy law,
and thereto I give thee my troth.
and thereto I give thee my troth.
A huge cheer from those outside brought a beaming smile to the bride inside. With the symbol of a life's commitment to one another eventually in place,
With this ring I thee wed,
with this ring I thee wed,
with my body I thee honour,
with my body I thee honour,
and all my worldly goods with thee I share.
and all my worldly goods with thee I share.
Same by giving and receiving of a ring.
the public showed their support. As did a close family friend.
The more we give of self, the richer we become in soul. You have both made your decision today. I will.
A knowing glance to each other suggested perhaps that after years in the building, theirs is now a marriage set to last. And it wasn't long before Catherine showed she was true to her vows, asking her husband if he was happy. And before long, they were sharing their happiness with the Buckingham Palace crowds. But later surprising them too, as William and Catherine drove themselves to Clarence House for some downtime. But even the police weren't ready for the party to be over. And as the couple prepares to honeymoon in private, they know that this
Maak nie saak waarna jou onderneming mik nie. Ons bied jou die batefinansiering om daar uit te kom. Wesbank, die kundiges in batefinansiering.
Vanaand in die nuus. Die dood van die terreurleier Osama bin Laden word bevestig met DNA-toetse. 'n Man sterf in 'n brand wat 1500 plakkershuise in die Kaapse Skiereiland verwoes.
I don't have nothing. I just take my baby and I just have only these clothes.
En die bokbreier maak die kaptein en onderkaptein bekend wat die Springbokke gaan lei in die Wêreldbeker eindtoernooi. Goeienaand en welkom by die nuus om 7. Die dood van die wêreld se berugste en mees gesoekte terreurleier Osama bin Laden is bevestig met DNA-toetse. Internasionale intelligensieagentskappe verwag vergeldingsaanvalle nadat bin Laden vanoggend vroeg deur Amerikaanse seesoldate in 'n huis in Pakistan doodgeskiet is na maande se waarneming. Hoewel die internasionale gemeenskap hoop dat sy dood 'n einde sal bring aan die wêreldwye terreurveldtog, meen sekere ontleeders dat sy opvolgers jonger en selfs meer radikaal kan wees.
We had located bin Laden hiding within a compound deep inside Pakistan. The United States launched a targeted operation against that compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. A small team of Americans carried out the operation with extraordinary courage and capability. No Americans were harmed. They took care to avoid civilian casualties. After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body. The death of bin Laden marks the most significant achievement to date in our nation's effort to defeat Al-Qaeda. Yet his death does not mark the end of our effort. There's no doubt that Al-Qaeda will continue to pursue attacks against us.
Die Amerikaanse federale speurdiens het intussen sy terreurwebwerf aangepas met die nuus dat bin Laden doodgeskiet is. Die nuus van Osama bin Laden se dood en voorlopige DNA-toetse wat bewys dat dit wel die terreurleier is wat dood is in die VSA en wêreldwyd verwelkom.
Justice was served, as our president said, and I'm happy.
I'm just glad that the threat's been removed from our country and from the world.
I think it'll be a sense of closure.
Now we just have to worry about the retaliation part.
Die Amerikaanse regering het sy burgers wêreldwyd gewaarsku om vergeldingsaanvalle te verwag. Die VSA se ambassade in Suid-Afrika bestempel bin Laden se dood as 'n gevoelige slag vir Al-Qaeda.
They've shown that they're willing to attack civilians anywhere in the world. You saw this in Dar es Salaam, you saw this in Nairobi, you saw this just last week in Morocco.
Suid-Afrika het sy teenstand teen internasionale terreur herbevestig en sy verkies om probleme deur middel van dialoog op te los.
We are seeing as a country that peace, security and development will exist as long as there's no terrorism taking place in any country.
Intussen het 'n bom in 'n moskee en 'n polisievesting in Charsara in Pakistan ontplof. 3 mense is dood en verskeie polisiemanne is beseer. Die polisie ondersoek die moontlikheid dat die ontploffing die eerste van 'n reeks wraakaanvalle na die Al-Qaeda-leier se dood kan wees.
Die dood van die Al-Qaeda-leier is in die Arabiese state grotendeels met stilswye begroet. Net Jemen het amptelik gereageer, waarin hy die hoop uitgespreek het dat sy dood die einde van terreur wêreldwyd sal beteken. Die vorige Pakistanse president Pervez Musharraf het Amerika gekritiseer omdat hy Pakistan se grense oorgesteek het. Hy het egter toegegee dat Bin Laden se dood op die lange duur voordelig sal wees.
Ministers van Buitelandse Sake van Bahrein, Kuwait en die Verenigde Arabiese Emirate wat 'n vergadering in Abu Dhabi bywoon, wou nie kommentaar lewer nie. Terwyl die Palestynse groep Hamas die dood van Bin Laden betreur het, het die Israeliese president Shimon Peres Amerika geloof.
The world will become a better world without him. Doesn't mean this is the end of all terrorism and all dangers, but one that was an outstanding murderer reached finally his own justified end.
Op die Wes-oewer het die Palestynse owerheid sy dood verwelkom.
Getting rid of Bin Laden is good for the cause of peace worldwide. But what counts is to overcome the discourse and the methods, the violent methods that were created and encouraged by Bin Laden and others in the world.
In Afghanistan het die president Hamid Karzai gesê hy hoop die wêreld begryp nou waarom Afghanistan die heeltyd nog sê die broeiplek van Al-Qaeda terreur lê buite die land. Hy het ook 'n beroep gedoen op die Taliban om op te hou om hulle broers en die seuns van Afghanistan dood te maak. Die Britse eerste minister David Cameron was een van vele Europese leiers wat versigtig optimisties op die nuus gereageer het, maar 'n oproep om waaksaamheid gedoen het.
This news will be welcomed right across our country. Of course, it does not mark the end of the threat we face from extremist terror. Indeed, we'll have to be particularly vigilant in the weeks ahead. But it is, I believe, a massive step forward.
Die voormalige Britse eerste minister Tony Blair het ook gereageer.
This operation shows no matter how difficult it is, how long it takes, however much the perpetrator of violence tries to hide, if you, by acts of terror, kill innocent civilians, we will find you and we will bring you to...
India het egter ook sy kommer uitgespreek omdat Bin Laden slegs sowat 60 km van Islamabad af en slegs sowat 800 meter van 'n Pakistanse weermagbasis afgevind is en gesuggereer dat Pakistan 'n hawe is vir terroriste. Die VN het so gereageer.
Good morning. The death of Osama bin Laden, announced by President Obama last night, is a watershed moment in our common global fight against terrorism. The crimes of Al-Qaeda touched most of the continent, bringing tragedy and loss of life to thousands of men, women, and children. The United Nations condemns in the strongest possible terms the terrorism in all its forms, regardless of its purpose and wherever it is committed.
Osama bin Mohammed bin Awad bin Laden is in 1957 gebore in die Saoedi-Arabiese hoofstad Riyadh. Hy was een van 'n ryk sakeman se meer as 50 kinders. Hy het sy studies in 1979 voltooi en aangesluit by die stryd teen die Sowjet-aanval van Afghanistan. Bin Laden het 'n ruk lank in Peshawar in Pakistan gewoon, waar hy begin het met die invoer van wapens en ook met 'n groep vrywilliger vegters. Vanaf 1979 tot 1989 onder presidente Jimmy Carter en Ronald Reagan het die Amerikaanse intelligensiediens, die CIA, geldelike hulp, wapens en opleiding verskaf aan Osama se Islamitiese Jihad Mujahideen. Meneer Reagan het die groep dikwels bestempel as Afghanistan se vryheidsvegters. In 1988 het Bin Laden 'n tuiste vir radikale moslems Al-Qaeda gestig. Sommige mense sê egter dit was 'n kapitalistiese beheermaatskappy wat onder meer kampe aangebied het. In 1989 het die Sowjetunie aan Afghanistan onttrek en Bin Laden het as 'n halt teruggekeer na sy vaderland. Hy was egter gou ontnigter met wat hy beskou het as die korrupsie van die Saoediese regering en sy eie familie. Nadat hy die besluit gekritiseer het om meer as 500.000 Amerikaanse soldate in Saoedi-Arabië te stasioneer na Irak se aanval van Kuwait, is hy uit sy land gesit en deur die VSA bestempel as 'n terroris. 2 jaar later het hy 'n fatwa of godsdienstdekreet uitgevaardig om Amerikaanse weermagpersoneel dood te maak. Die VSA brandmerk hom toe as die belangrikste verdagte in 2 bomontploffings in Saoedi-Arabië, waarin 24 Amerikaanse soldate dood is. 2 jaar later eis bomontploffings by die Amerikaanse ambassades in Nairobi en Dar es Salaam die lewens van 224 mense. Die VSA verdink toe Bin Laden as die meesterbrein agter die ontploffings en hy word die VBE se mees gesoekte man. 3 jaar later op 11 September 2001 vind die terreuraanvalle op Amerikaanse bodem plaas en president George W. Bush verklaar dat Bin Laden gesoek word lewendig of dood. Sedertdien het hy etlike video's van sy skuilplekke bekend gemaak en was hy die onderwerp van die grootste internasionale soektog na 'n man nog. Faith Daniels, SAK nuus.
'n Kenner van die Midde-Oosterse politiek, Tom Wheeler, sê Bin Laden is nie meer onontbeerlik vir Al-Qaeda se leierskap nie en gegee die grootskaalse opstande in die Arabiese wêreld, taan die beweging se relevantie. Meneer Wheeler sê 'n nuwe gees vat pos in die Midde-Ooste, die sogenaamde Arabiese lente, waar mense om vryheid en demokrasie veg. Hy meen die revolusie laat Bin Laden se ideologie kwyn.
Deur hom te verwyder van die toneel maak jy 'n stelling, 'n verklaring dat jy het nou die binnekring van Al-Qaeda bereik en as dit ware die wond oopgemaak en jy weet die sweer uitgehaal. En die lande wat miskien bedreig gevoel het deur Al-Qaeda se ideologie en sy beleid, sal seker hierdie verwikkeling verwelkom en daar is sekerlik van hulle die wat nou meer radikaal ingestel is en wat sterker anti-Amerikaanse simpatie en gevoelens het, die sal natuurlik die gebeure veroordeel.
Libiese rebelle het ook Bin Laden se dood verwelkom, hoewel die Libiese leier Muammar Gaddafi beweer het dat hulle deur Al-Qaeda gesteun word. Intussen het die Suid-Afrikaanse regering gevra dat NAVO-aanvalle op Libiese teikens gestaak word, omdat die VN nie die optrede onderskryf nie. Meneer Zuma het gereageer op die naweekse aanval op kolonel Gaddafi se huis, waarin sy jongste seun en 3 klein kinders dood is.
This continuation of bombing is actually going to result in a situation that is not called for. The fact that you are now talking about Gaddafi's son and grandchildren being killed is an indication of these consistent bombings that is not helping.
Later in die bulletin, die groot terugtog na die lang naweek lei tot swaar verkeer op die land se hoofroetes. En 'n militêre parade sluit die rand se skou af.
Placed in position.
Whether it's work or play, you enjoy living life at 100%. And to get the most out of life, you should be getting all the nutrients you need. Centrum is a complete multivitamin, scientifically formulated with all the essential vitamins and minerals you need to help maintain your good health.